I spent 30 days playing the most boring official Doom expansion ever created, TNT Evilution. I thought I had nothing to say about it, and I was... well, you'll see. Map 01, System Control. TNT doesn't really start bad, although having half the level basically be secrets is... weird. Lots of punching because there's a berserk in the first room, and also, let me tell you, playing Doom with a screen like this makes me miss having an ultra-wide, or a normal wide. I've got the peripheral vision of a low-rent Benny.
You're not supposed to be here!
It's like playing Doom on your
Fucking telephone. Get real.
chain gunners in the first map, guarding the blue key in the exit, but at least we've got a chain gun, which is 100% better than no chain gun. Like I said, this doesn't start off bad, but we'll get there, kids. We'll get there. Please like and subscribe for more, because I'm gonna be doing this forever, probably. Like, I don't know, as long as I don't have to go. If you want out of this video, just tap the screen twice. Thanks for watching. For 30 days, I'm unaliving Hexspawn in Doom's most uninteresting expansion, TNT Evilution. And today, I hope you got your chef's hats on, because we're doing a human barbecue. Yee-haw! Your first ingredient is a layout you have to run circles around about 50 times, because if you fall off this edge here, you have to run all the way back up here to make this running jump to get back. Or even if you just grab the blue key the regular way, it might sound like I this level, but I really only unlike this part, and the horde that appears in this room, including the element. We always brutally and mercilessly unalive the plane elementals. Next, simmer in a secret bit where you get a super shotgun while telefragging Barons of Heck. This ain't bad. Like I said before, a lot of the early stuff in TNT is pretty okay. Throw in chain gunners on ledges. Remember your chain gun sniping skills, kids. A cryptic secret that'll get you a soul sphere, your first encounter with a revenant, and just a big old block of Velveeta cheese and some uncooked pasta, because you're a bunch of fucking swine! I spent 30 days in TNT Evilution so that you don't have to, except most of you probably have already. Suckers. Power control is a big dumb thing. A thing that is big and dumb with a lot of featureless green rooms surrounding a thing with teleporters outside that take you inside, but then outside, but then inside again, and it is a very good representation of some things you'll see for the rest of TNT. High monster counts that are mostly low-tier enemies shooting at you from far away, using teleporters to get into areas because otherwise the level might flow well. Sure, this part here is hard, but I'm still alive. The challenge would be if this archvile could do anything to me or resurrect any of the monsters on the outside here, but he can't, so whatever. Please follow for more totally awesome Doom gameplay, and one of you could win a brand new bag of shit.
Warning, bag of shit not guaranteed. Offer only valid in non-mainland United States through March of 2023.
For 30 days, I'm selling this crazy thing that'll turn your dorm room into a movie theater. And since my store is closing, all inventory is going for $20. Just send your credit card information to this link. Wormhole is my favorite map of TNT because it shows a bit of real creativity. You go through this fairly difficult area and some tunnels on this, I assume, spaceship, so metaphorically and literally, TNT feels like it's starting to go places. This ship has secrets, kids. If you make your way into the lower levels, you can find a portal which will send you across time and space into another more challenging version of the ship. Sure, it's the same area again, retextured and harder, and both versions of this side area here are kind of cramped trash, but its ideas that are good. Best level in TNT, hands down. This may be the last time you hear me say something nice about TNT. You might think it's weird that the world changes around you, but, you know, that's normal for me. At least they're leaving me alone, you know? Blah, 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 30 days TNT, content, content, content. Hanger? Not hanger? Because why? This level is fine, I guess. Though I always hated them putting the exit at the start and making you run around and hunt for the key to come all the way back. The maze-like tunnels where you get to a switch puzzle to get the blue key with no switches. Really teasing my brain there, oh boy. Maybe because I've played TNT a lot, like this room with 2 barons and a soul sphere and the revenant trap that I know is coming gets me excited, while the later part where I'm stuck getting sniped by faraway hit scanners is just tedious. And then, more monster closets inside of the monster closets. I don't know, it's not bad, but it's awfully boring to talk about. A high monster count doesn't mean much when they're mostly imps. I've accepted the challenge, one that gives me glorious purpose, to complete TNT Evilution, Final Doom's lesser half, in 30 days. So, you know, 30 days, 30 TikToks, even though there are 32 levels. And open season is when things start to fall apart. A weird layout where you're supposed to activate some machines that do things. I guess it's supposed to feel like you're doing something important, but there's no context to it, and half the level is spent in tight, dark hallways shooting monsters with the super shotgun. And maybe if the enemies were placed better, they'd be challenging. But they're not, and neither is this level, even when it floods you with cacodemons. At the time, it was probably really cool. Standards for Doom WADs were a lot lower in those days. It was June of 1996? They had the stones to add this originally free Doom WAD to Final Doom and put it out 5 months after Duke Nukem 3D? Oh, John Romero, I love you. Why TNT Evolution?
TNT Evolution is a first-person shooter game released in 1996 as part of the Doom franchise. It was widely popular at the time of its release and is still enjoyed by many gamers today.
I've been trapped here a long time.
I'm sorry to hear that. However, as an AI model, I don't have the ability to know your current situation or context. Could you please provide more information?
Why do they call you clown? Here's your plasma gun. Take the chain gun back out, because there's mostly zombies behind this door, and you don't need that kind of firepower. Because if you're just gonna send one Baron of Hell or one Pain Elemental after me, I don't really need it. Look at all of this space and these monsters that barely fill a fraction of it. See the eponymous prison, one room full of monsters that they don't have to put any real thought into because there's an invulnerability power-up. You know, if you find this secret, but only after you shoot through 100 smaller enemies. You're right, TNT, I do need the plasma gun, not because I need the massive damage output, because it saves me time. This isn't a monster closet, this is a monster condo! I spent 30 days inside a TNT Evolution because I hate myself. This is metal. I know it looks like a sewer full of low-tier chain gun fodder, but we'll get to the metal parts. Like this big room full of low-tier chain gun fodder, and this big room full of low-tier chain gun fodder, or this absolutely enormous fucking room that is for some reason full of low-tier chain gun fodder and a couple of medium-sized enemies that require rockets. This giant room is where this level ends, and it requires you to do the same elevator switch puzzle several times while it opens the exact same monster closet trap every single time. Why do a thing to surprise the player once when you can do it 4 times so that the player will eventually let their guard down and you can hit them with 2 arachnotrons, half the number you face when the monster is introduced in Doom 2. If you're playing on I'm Too Young to Die...
Stupid babies need the most attention.
For 30 days, I can't mention the Bleeneman Square Blassacre. Welcome to the Nightmare Run Killer, the baddest, the hit-scanneriest stronghold. Why is this level so infamous? Well, a lot because it's nearly impossible on Nightmare, which you would think would be attractive to people who play on Nightmare because they hate themselves, but nah. You see, there are nearly 300 monsters in this level on Ultraviolence, and just one of those monsters isn't a shotgunner, chain gunner, zombie man, or imp. It's annoying, overstuffed, maybe the hardest level in the entire thing, and it's level 9. It's monster closets and closets where a whole platoon of former humans teleport into a closet and slowly filter out. In a clip I can't play in its entirety because I'm doing short form content. I tell you about individual areas, but it all feels pretty much the same. I'm playing TNT Evolution for 30 days because I have angered God. Like a lot. Redemption. Redemption is small and boring and I have nothing to say about it. So that's how we're fitting 32 levels into 30 TikToks. Storage Facility is a big warehouse that also doesn't really last very long, though it makes up for it by teleporting revenants in at very inconvenient times. Oh, god damn it. It's a lot of squares and a lot of running. One warehouse is brightly lit and the other isn't. Do you see why it's so hard to make a detailed video about TNT? Nothing of interest is happening in a level where I murder 150 monsters. What word do I replace murder with? Herder? Führer? No, not Führer. We shouldn't do that. The best thing about this level is the music. It's a track called Let's Kill at Will, and it's awesome. We're spending 30 days. No, that's cool. Just put an arachnotron behind a fake wall. At least it's something. Also, crater. What's in that crater? 3 revenants and 2 barons. You can stuff every square inch of these levels with hit scanners, but God forbid you use something a little tougher. People compare TNT to Doom 2 in terms of difficulty, but like, this blue key trap has 1 mancubus. Maybe if I pistol started it, it would be a challenge, but the amount of ammo I'd get from shotgunner drops alone would make it pretty trivial. A little dark maze with mostly spaced out low-tier enemies that pose no threat, followed by a surprise archvile who poses no threat because there's practically no way for it to reach a monster to resurrect, and even if it did, it would probably bring an imp back to life for all of 0.75 seconds. Welcome back! I'm unaliving the mortally challenged for 30 days in TNT Evilution. Here's how it's going. You guys remember how I said getting the chain gun in Doom was satisfying because you can mow down zombies really fast? TNT proves that you can have too much of a good thing. This level is mostly fine, but still suffers from having too few enemies in spaces way too large to accommodate them, so the fairly easy task of dodging Revenant attacks is made even easier. But wait, oh boy, it's our first cyber demon of the campaign. You know what that means. I saw a TikTok the other day where this girl was in the car and her father was rocking out to Dragula, Rob Zombie's Dragula, and she called it dad music. I feel like that took something out of me, something I can't get back.
It's understandable to feel frustrated or upset when someone dismisses something you enjoy as outdated or irrelevant. However, it's important to remember that people have different tastes or opinions, and what one person considers dad music might be a beloved classic to some.
Steelworks! I remember this one. It's like the last level where there was a cyber demon in the first room, except this time it's a spider mastermind. And I hear a lot of debate about which is harder, and I have to say it's the spider. You know, unless you can hide behind a box and avoid any of its attacks, the rest of it is low-tier enemies in waves and some plain elementals. And so many zombie men. An enemy that poses no threat to the player and should have stopped appearing about 5 levels ago. And walking through a lot of what I assume is molten steel, since they could have called it Bloodworks and gotten away with it. For 30 days, I'm gonna make the ha-has about the TNT Evilution, and hope none of those Rick and Morty references I'm always making age poorly. No, I'm not gonna do a wubba lubba dub dub. For Christ's sake, I have some dignity. This level is actually kinda cool because of how open-ended everything is. Look at you, TNT, spawning an arch-violin where it might actually be a problem, and using your mid-tier enemies more. Running around, hitting switches, and ooh, right, the BFG, finally! We're almost halfway through this thing, and we finally got a BFG that we won't need unless we somehow stumble into a Casali map. Now, onto the secret exit, which is behind 2 secret doors that are somehow disappointingly easy to find while also being weirdly cryptic. The cryptic part is that it teleports you to a seemingly random part of the map where they just shove the secret exit in, and you might even miss it if you don't turn around. I can't hate on this level too much, it's at least different. Pharaoh, Doom Goes Egyptian. One of the few maps at TNT made by Dario Casali of Plutonia and Valve fame, meaning
finally some good fucking food.
It's not spectacular, and until it got patched post-release, it was missing a yellow key, but it's mostly different. There's some interesting traps, a cyber demon battle, and a big outdoor fight with a variety of enemies that isn't just chain-gunning low-tier monsters forever. Until the end of the map, when you have to mow down 60 shotgunners. Take the super secret exit behind this unmarked wall and you're done. Please leave a like because the algorithm requires engagement. You bet I prefer the cruelty of a Casali map to the bland nothingness of most of the rest of TNT. It feels about as Caribbean as a yodeling contest, but it's engaging, stocking me up with rockets and hitting me with devious traps. Chain gunners, revenants, you see this TNT? This is a monster closet. Told you I'd need a BFG for Casali maps. Top it all off with another cyber demon battle, supported by plenty of other monsters that he'll blow up all on his own, and an arch-vile behind a fake wall. I'd be mad, but at least it's getting my heart rate up. I feel like something's happening. I'm on day 17 of TikTok and Torment, and I haven't been this bored since they took away my Alexis Sinclair poster. 'Cause they don't let me have corn in here. I'm glad those Casali levels gave me Casali amounts of rockets for non-Casali levels. I don't hate Deepest Reaches, really. It still suffers from the blandness of a lot of TNT while having a couple of areas that try to be more interesting. The layout is better. Not huge rooms with 2 shotgunners in them. Maybe I'm just won over by the fact that I'm in some natural-looking caves instead of another fucking tech base. Whatever, I give this one a pass. TNT is back on its bullshit. Processing area is like what an AI would make if you fed it some information about Doom. It's a tech base, of course, We didn't have enough of those. It's even named like a stock map you'd see in the first couple of episodes of Doom 1. It's full of low-tier enemies with some others sprinkled in to add flavor, and it still doesn't know how to properly use an arch-vial. You don't put them in a place where you can easily lose line of sight. Like if I'd gotten to this key and then it spawned, maybe because there's some monsters to resurrect. But no, you spawn a horde of pinkies that can't do anything but maybe single-file run at you, a man with a super shotgun. TNT knows how to properly use an arch-vial, and it tries later by teleporting one in after a horde of lower monsters, and it would be a challenge, except there's an invulnerability sitting right here, so you know, fuck it. Mill! You can tell Kasali was involved with this map because the arch-vial actually poses a threat. In space! I don't know what this is. I can also tell Kasali was involved because they put chain gunners behind a fake wall. Fuck you. Now also begins the tradition of TNT levels being too big and unwieldy, wrapping around some kind of computer core you can't get to both sides of without a blue key, due to a ceiling being about 5 pixels too short and an irritating bit of level design contrivance that blocks you from the yellow key, which leads into a big room where you have to hit some switches and open some doors, but then you have to alert the monsters by shooting. There are no monsters in this room, so the others won't be alerted naturally. I hate this so much. Okay, Cyber Demon is dead. This portal looks like it goes somewhere interesting and absolutely not another tech base full of low-tier enemies.
CV11, I would like to understand better your methods for...
I don't care. I'm doing something here. You want to know about my content? You want to be able to replicate it? Okay, try this. You're not going to make a salient point about AI replacing YouTubers in your April Fool's shitpost. It isn't going to happen. Now fuck off.
Shipping, respawning is the 19th level of TNT Evilution. It was created by Team TNT for Final Doom in 1996. This level is notable for its use of Doom Cute design. A phrase used to describe using Doom sectors to create a facsimile of realistic environments, such as offices or trucks.
Yeah, and it looks like shit, and it's boring.
Content does not need to be interesting to be suitable for consumption.
I know, it's crazy. They keep letting me make thief videos. Put a finger down if you just can't get enough of this riveting TNT content. I opposite of love this shit. Central processing is a big dumb thing full of low-tier monsters that flows like a shit river. But when I started this and had the image of too many low-tier monsters used as fodder in my mind, it was this exact area right here. And the level builds up to a bunch of cliffs where you kill everything in the area and then run around for half an hour trying to figure out where you're supposed to exit. Hint, it's behind where the game teleports you, and you have to press use on the exit sign. Not a switch, not a teleporter, a goddamned exit sign. Like it's not even finished. I loathe Administration Center. Maybe it's not technically the worst, but it commits every sin that this expansion is known for. It's too fucking big. All the monsters placed in the center, surrounded by this massive hallway sprinkled lightly with low-tier enemies, are already alerted, and they're all gonna be at the bottom of this pit in a place where you can't shoot them, and if you move to the opposite side to get them, they teleport somewhere else. There isn't enough health anywhere, and you're forced to take damage in this pit because you have to come back to it several times for the keys that open these doors that didn't even register to me as doors the first time I played because they don't look like doors that would open because they're low-level Doom hackery to get masked walls to do that, and they only appear here. Final area, which takes me about 30 minutes to get to, even after playing this many times before, is the absolutely too fucking biggest area in all of TNT. This is not design, this is people scribbling lines in a CAD program and tossing some demons into it. Trash! This is it. Objectively the worst level of TNT, Habitat. More like Habitat for shit because guess what? It's mostly a sewer. Hiding a blue key behind a fake wall? Great. You're thinking, hey, at least it's throwing challenging monsters at you. Yeah, until you spend the majority of the level in a sewer. A ridiculously over-designed sewer where it makes the entrance to the other sections dependent on crossing 2 lines that lower 4 sectors and open a door, like the whole thing is designed around how totally cool it is that this shit tunnel has all this height variation. Door textures that run all the way up to the sky like it's baby's first Doom map bullshit. This is level design malpractice. Next! Hey look, it's another tech base full of low-tier enemies that I shoot with a chain gun.
Might I offer some suggestions?
No, I don't care. Why are you called Clown anyway?
It stands for Creative Learning Operations Warden Network.
That acronym is more tortured than I am. Now get out of here or destroy yourself from boredom from TNT or whatever.
I will remain. I will learn. I will grow.
Yes, of course, very ominous. I'm sure this will be important later. God is unalive. Here's TNT. Quarry is a recreation of every alien planet ever featured on Doctor Who. Minus whatever is the one... You know, I haven't watched that show in like 5 years. Did they ever solve the mystery of that character that they never gave any characterization to so that they could stay a mystery? Quarry is one of the shortest levels in TNT, which makes it one of my favorites. It doesn't waste my time. I remember being impressed when I was a kid that it had these masked wall textures that look like cave openings, which adds to the atmosphere a little. It tries to make it seem like it has room over room with teleporters, but not silent ones like Doom mappers would use later with Team TNT's much more important Doom release, the landmark source port Boom, which itself is probably a fantastic enough achievement to overlook Evilution's sins. Yeah, it's that important. You guys ever pump and dump at a family reunion? Not your own family reunion, obviously, but somebody else's, and you start banging different women. But they're all related, so like they have slightly different mommy boxes. But you're test driving them, right? Seeing how Evilution has shaped each one a little differently, so that you can find one that's just right. I call this Goldilocksing. Anyway, this level sucks. Ballistics! It's not the worst! It's dark caves full of chain gun fodder and occasional larger enemies where you hunt for a trigger that'll lower an altar at the start so you can exit. We're still not doing Archviles right. Mount Plain! I don't hate it as much as Administration Center, but I can't explain why after playing it. The largest hordes of low-tier enemies, hundreds of imps, its own barely designed sewer section. A wall that says disaster area that's actually a door that you need to open to progress. This map is vile. Death by 1,000 cuts. Unmarked key doors. The final area has the mountain that gives the level its name, and it's just teleporting lost souls at you the whole time. It's more of a series of small annoyances that get blown out of proportion, the Doom level equivalent of a Curb Your Enthusiasm episode. One of the most obnoxious levels I've ever played. I don't even need to censor the title. That's what they called it. Heck! Ruled over by the dreaded Peaches. This level isn't actually that bad, and I'm not just saying that because it was designed by Milo Casali or because a giant chunk of it seems directly inspired by Sandy Peterson's The Spirit World from Doom 2. It's fine, like the layout isn't bad, the fights are okay, it doesn't feel like a TNT map at all. It had me fooled with this section here where it's a lot of ineffectual pinkies and one Mancubus before BAM! Closet full of evidence. Now that's Casali shit. There isn't a single useless zombie man in this level. Not one! Map 28, kids, we did it! We're here at the second to last level of TNT Evilution, River Styx. And this one isn't bad either. It's like all the really terrible maps are out of the way, we're done with them. And this one I would say is even pretty good. Well paced, building up the demonic temple that occupies most of the level with a trek through the eponymous River of Blood. Though it's a little weird this lava doesn't do any damage, I'll take it. The monster placement and variety, the areas and rooms designed around the encounters and not just being unnecessarily huge for no goddamn reason. It doesn't feel like TNT at all, it's good. And we're almost done. Just one more level. I'm gonna get this out of the way now while I have time. The beginning of map 30, last call, with the teleporter that'll insta-kill you if you do it wrong. You can use an advanced source port to tell which lines will teleport you to certain death, but I'm gonna do it the intended way, by using the order of colored torches at the beginning. Red, green, green, blue, green, blue, green, blue, green, green, red, blue, and done. We did it! We finally did it! We're here! Forget all these monsters in this hallway, like the ones at the windows, because we've got one more Icon of Sin fight ahead of us, even if it's kinda crap. And it's a bit of a pain with Doom's vertical auto-aim, because it's not like in Doom 2 where you're on a high platform. The concentration of monsters being spawned are directly in front of you. Getting telefragged by a plane elemental is the worst way to die. Yes! My curse is lifted! Happy April, kids! I'll never do this again, I promise!